Wait, one second, main term recording. That should be recording now. Okay, hello and welcome back to some Fuss Snow. Hopefully you are all doing okay today and staying safe. So, last episode we left off when we were just done with the dinner scene after meeting Elan's parents. I can already feel my eyelids getting heavy as I lean back into this wonderful soft couch. The exhaustion of the trip and meeting with Elan's folks finally catching up to me as I rest in the living room. The fireplace happily crackles away near the Christmas tree, the cozy room all the warmer thanks to the heat of the shower still lingering on my skin. All that can be heard are fire and the faint clanking of dishes as Elan's parents wash up, recounting the day's events between them. I very nearly succumb to my doziness before Elan walks in, pulling back her still slightly wet hair. The sight of her in pajamas wakes me up a little, so I quickly try to move my gaze elsewhere. She still practically collapses onto the couch beside me, staring up at the ceiling for a while to collect herself. I catch myself staring at her, but if she minds, she doesn't show it. What a day. That goes for both of us. I almost mentioned the argument Elan had over her mother, but I can't work out how I want to phrase it. Maybe it's for the best that Elan... You know what? I don't know how to pronounce this word. Premiates me. So, how was the trip, now that we can talk properly? The times we stopped were good. You're braver than I am. I couldn't pay me... Okay. You're braver than I am. Couldn't pay me enough to get on one of those things. Come on. I'm sure you'd be a natural at it. No way. Your roommate's crazy for using it as her only transportation. Your parents seem nice. Elan just shrugs. I wish they were a little more subtle. But what? Being so specific that you use the guest room, not mine. My cheeks flushed scarlet as I connected dots. Did you just realize what that was about?
Oh!
No, but I'm still embarrassed to talk about it. Elan finds amusement in how flustered I am. I bury my face in my hands. Never change. If I had lied and said we were just friends, I wonder if they would have been so adamant about the two of us not sharing a room. I peek at her from behind my hands. I don't really know what to say. I don't know enough about her parents to say anything. Maybe that would have been better, huh? Her smile returns as she leans in towards me. I can feel my face go redder, my heart burning in my chest. All I can do is lean in to meet her. Elan closes hers. Our lips meeting for one brief moment. As I pull back, the two of us look at each other and smile, partly from happiness and partly from our sheepiness. Oh, it's going to be a while before this comes naturally, I guess. As I watch her though, Elan's face slowly collapsed into frustration. What's wrong?
Everything's wrong!
Elan makes no secret of her displeasure as she sighs and takes to her feet, confronting the small and very unhappy girl before us. It stings to be close, so close, only to be interrupted.
Eve.
Elan's sister takes little notice, directing her pouting face towards the object of her annoyance, me.
She's my sister! I finally get to play with Elan after so long, and you keep hugging her!
I need a drink after that. That cracks me up too much. It's understandable. You haven't seen, your sister in a while, or, sibling, or even best friend. But then, they have family, and, they want to spend time with them. There we go.
Wanna play, do you?
Aline flits behind Eve while she's busy ranting at me, bringing her arms around the child's midsection and lifting her up against her chest with ease. As Eve finds her feet dangling a couple of inches from the carpet, she begins flailing about to grab a foothold.
Let go of me!
Wow, you haven't grown at all.
That'll definitely help her calm down. To no surprise, the two start fighting, Eve's slight body jerking this way and that way, as Aline plants her feet and refuses to let go despite her squirming around.
I'll tell Mom on you!
And what, she'll ground me?
Eve fruitlessly continues to struggle, arms and legs flailing about in the air. Sorry, my hair keeps getting in my eye there. Just a single strand of hair. Oh. It was a loose hair. It was just hanging there for ages. For all her frustration and growling, her acting out just makes Aline all the more amused as she teases her little sister. Watching the two having their little sibling scuffle, it reminds me of my brothers at home. For the first time, my nerves about being here fade a little. Sitting on the side of the bed I'll be using for a week, I idly watch the news on a small television placed on a carpet. The little speakers on the device try valiantly, but the voices are so tiny I can barely understand them. It's 10:30 in the evening, going by the clock in the corner of the broadcast. Adults weird. Now that I can go to sleep whenever I want without my parents disapproving, I dustfully do so at a reasonable time anyway, so I can be fresh for school. The fact I'm actually watching the news nowadays too is strange. Bored of the reports about trucks being stuck after sliding around on the roads, I let myself slop back onto the soft blankets as it drones on. Lacking the energy to do much else, I lazily stare upwards. Yet another unfamiliar ceiling above me. It feels like everything is constantly changing these days. My old home sure didn't have a guest room, let alone one that's so nicely furnished. Here I was thinking I'd be squeezing into Aline's bed. Not that I have minded that at all, for all the lovely things she has here, though Aline seems to be intentionally trying to distance herself from her parents. I don't understand it at all. Hopefully that, fan does not sound too loud for you. She might have told me not to pry into her life, but it's hard to ignore what's right in front of my face. I quickly shuffle myself up at the sound of the opening door sliding across the carpet. With a gentle touch, Aline gingerly closes the door behind her. I'd thought everyone to be asleep by now, but maybe I should have expected her, of all people, to still be up.
Eileen.
She puts a finger over her lips as she turns back before waking up. Walking up, not waking up. You know, it kind of faded together there for me because I was, reading so fast. Climbing onto the bed and facing me as I twist around, the two of us end up sitting in its center. Shouldn't you be sleeping? Same goes for you. She has me there. Far from the quiet feeling awkward, I find myself smiling at our secret rendezvous. It feels like we're kids having a sleepover. Too bad the movies, just news, instead of some horror movie we snuck past our parents. You did that? Once. My parents were so freaked out, we went back to the usual horrible romance stuff. There's nothing wrong with romance movies. Her face makes it abundantly clear this is a difference of opinion that will never be bridged. I have to admit that there is one thing different to back then, too. Eileen's body is really hard to ignore when we're like this. As much as I try to distract myself from the subject, she did sneak into my bedroom at night. What's wrong? Nothing, it's just you're really pretty. It isn't often I catch her being bashful, but I think this might finally be one of those times. My moment of victory is brief, though, with Eileen's quick movement towards me, taking me all the more off guard. Unable to make sense of the girl suddenly lunging at me, the both of us are sent falling backwards into the soft mattress. It takes a couple of seconds to collect myself out what's happened, time seeming to stop as I am left staring upwards at the pair of emerald eyes above me. I'm pinned. I think a brief attempt to right myself ends in little more than a couple of weak jerks, Eileen holding my arms to the thick sheets with her body's weight. Stupid fly tower. Silence reigns, my vision filled with her looking downwards. I have no idea what to say, as my heart beats wildly in my chest, yet she doesn't say a word.
Eileen, what are
you... I missed you.
How am I supposed to respond to that? Were her face any different? I'd think it a invitation, but there's a sincerity there that takes me off guard. I wonder how often I've seen her face, or anyone's, from this close, and for so long. I can't help but stare upwards, trying my best to read that face. I so often can't. As I do, I realize something she's doing just the same. Maybe she's scared of forcing me to do something I don't want to do, or afraid of getting too close too fast. Maybe she's simply like I am, unused to being looked at this intently. Either way, she isn't leering over me. Eileen's generally unsure what to do next. Oh, sorry. Whatever the reason, I can't help but smile a little.
Did I say something wrong?
I was just thinking how you're still the same as ever.
What's that supposed to mean?
Give me a second hand embarrassment over here. Answer her confusion by lifting my chin. A little invitation. Not that I can move much more. Without any further prompting needed, she presses her lips to mine with a satisfied sigh. It isn't long before our tongues move about, her breath tingling on my face. I squirm about roughly as the atmosphere gets heavier between us, Eileen easily keeping me down. It's a little exciting to be playing like this, as she shows no signs of letting up. A shiver runs up my spine as I find her thigh between my legs. In my fidgeting about, my heart beginning to race with ideas of this and that. Uplifts affectionately breaking and meeting. Élan barely letting me take so much as a brow. I can't help but think back to the first time we did this. Then several sharp thuds against the door ring out. My entire body freezes, my heart nearly jumping out of my chest. The both of us freeze up. I'm getting second-hand embarrassment over here. As I break from kissing to look over, hoping against hope that the door doesn't
It's
creak
getting
up.
late, Allison.
Why now, of all times, I can only thank my lucky stars that we've been quiet, but being one door handle turned from being seen like this is far too close to comfort.
Right. Sorry, I'll go to bed soon.
That was remarkably more natural than I thought I'd be able to pull off.
Thank you. If you need anything, just ask. Sleep well.
Thanks. Good night.
As our footsteps go down the hallway, the both of us heave a great sigh. The mood's completely gone as both of us look to each other. I suppose this is one benefit of Élan having her own apartment. I run my hand through my hair to settle myself down as Élan sits back on the bed, wisely letting a few minutes go by before trying to slip out of my room. I also miss living alone. Well, that was annoying. See you tomorrow, I guess. Have a good sleep. With that, she slips off the bed, quietly shuffling across the room, before pausing a moment before turning the handle. As I pick myself up to wish her a good night, she curtly turns back. To be honest, I think you look really pretty too. I don't manage to form a reply before she skitters out of my room. Then again, my scarlet cheeks probably did the job for me. Oh, rubbing sleep from my eyes as I slowly drag myself to the living room. A restrained yawn heralds my entrance. I thought I might have trouble getting to sleep in an unfamiliar place, but after everything that happened, I crashed almost immediately. Looks like Élan's family are early risers. Noises from the kitchen, presumably being from her parents, while the television blares away just ahead. The fire crackling would make it quite a noisy. Cozy is what I was trying to say. Scene, if not for being interspersed with cartoon voices. Eve sits on the couch as I glance down, already bundled up in her winter outfit like a puffy ball of clothing, eagerly watching the morning cartoons. Her legs swing away as she happily munches on a bowl of brightly coloured cereal. Can't help but smile, reminded of my own childhood. The show and setting might be different, but the innocence is just the same. I forgot what this simple experience felt like. I take a seat beside the oversized hamster, Eve barely acknowledging my presence before Élan pops in from the kitchen and calls out to me. Looks like the coffee in her hand hasn't kicked in quite yet.
Allison.
Want any food? There's toast and cereal if you want any. I don't usually eat breakfast, thanks though. Shrugging in response, the tired Élan heads back out. Despite settling down to watch Eve's cartoon with her, can't help but eavesdrop as the conversation between Élan and her mother can be heard from the other room.
Any plans for the day?
Was going to study for school.
Real studying, not just drawing.
The cartoon's loud exclamations punctuate the short silence that forms Elan's reply.
Should have known. I've seen your marks from high school. I just want you to do well. Maybe you can have Allison help. She seems to have a good head on her shoulders.
She's been helping me with my math already.
And here I was, worrying about who you might end up with for a girlfriend.
You know I can handle myself fine. Why worry?
Because I'm your mother. That's why.
Elan doesn't exactly sound buoyant by the comments, but I have to admit that the praise is nice to hear. It is a bit sad to hear her mother doesn't approve of her pursuing art, though I wonder how tempered this exchange is, thanks to them keeping things together since Emerald. Morning, you two.
Morning, you two.
Going out, dear?
Just swinging into town to grab paper and milk. Want to come along?
Eve, Allison, we're heading out for a moment.
Okay.
We're going by your favorite shop, Eve.
I'm coming. She drops her almost finished bowl onto the coffee table so hastily that it nearly spills, skittering out the door with a faint pitter-patter on the carpet. It's amazing how much energy kids have. Elan's parents give a short farewell as they escort Eve out. They go racing out straight to the car. To be a child again, filled with excitement for the next car trip. You know, I'm still excited for the next car trip, you know. I just like, you know, watching the environment go by. I tell you. Gives me ideas for different, you know, projects and all that. Or television shows. You know, still say, you can still like, you know, television shows, be excited about them. Still like a child. Alright, I was just checking something. With her family out the door, Elan watches them drive off before heading over. I shift over a little as she drops onto the counter, setting her coffee down, with somewhat more care than her sister's cereal. I give a loud stretch, but rather than being out of tiredness, it's more to calm myself as my heart starts beating in anticipation. We're finally alone for real this time. As I look over to Elan, it's obvious that she has the same idea as she turns off the television. Want to pick up where we left off last time? I want to, but it's kinda early for this. She has to think that one through. It'll wake us up. I'm not given a chance to respond as she presses her lips to mine. Not that I particularly wanted to argue the fact that the parents are gonna come through the door about you. Like, oh, I forgot my key. Ah! Oh, this will likely be the last time we can share a moment like this for a good while. The snow makes a satisfying sound as I pat it down, each handful making a sphere before me that little bit larger. It's surprising how much physical work putting a snowman together is, but this is my first time making one this size. I tell you, I always tried to make a good one back in the day, and it would not snow like, you know, it'd be like perfectly sunny Christmas. It'd be so stupid, I tell you. Alright, well, I do think that we are over the time. Ah, yes, we are. Alright, so hopefully you enjoyed this. Have a nice day, safe episode. Miss Horseshoe, thank you for the very important, and bye bye, see you, bye bye.